Hello everyone, this is Ankur Buddhiraja, Assistant Professor at the BBA Department of JIMS Greater Noida. In this session of Production and Operations Management, I shall be taking up the meaning, objectives, importance and procedure or process of production planning and control. But before we move on to the formal definitions of production planning and control, let us simply understand what is planning and control in generic sense. Managerial planning or planning is a process of deciding in advance what is to be done, how, why, and when something has to be done and implemented. While control is based upon planning and takes care of what has been done so that the actual performance can be compared with the planned or standard performance, and deviations can be located so that the corrective actions can further be implemented. So this is the general meaning of planning and control. When we associate simple planning and control with production functions, obviously we will talk about pre-planning or planning in advance about the production schedules, the production timetable, the production inventory, and the people and resources to be hired and utilized for production objectives to be met. Quickly look at the definition of production planning and control. Production planning and control involves the organization and planning in advance of the manufacturing process. It consists of planning beforehand of the routing, scheduling, dispatching, and inspection, coordination and control of materials, methods, machines, tools, and operating times. In simple terms, everything that is human and non-human in nature, or every resource or every process or every machine that is associated with production or manufacturing process is planned beforehand in production planning and control. Production planning is done to anticipate possible difficulties and to decide in advance as to how the production process will be carried out in the best possible and economical way so that the customers can be satisfied with the products that are produced in the factory. Since only planning of production is not sufficient, hence there has to be a mechanism of properly adhering to and following these standards, and that is called production control. The ultimate aim, therefore, of production planning and control is to produce the products of right quality in right quantity at the right time by using the best and the least expensive methods so that every plant works in an economical way. In a nutshell, production planning and control therefore includes the process of planning the production in advance, setting the exact route of each item, fixing the starting and finishing date for each item, giving production orders to different shops to see the progress of products accordingly to the order. We will now move on to the objectives of production planning and control. The first objective is to determine the sequence of operations to continue production. The sequence of operation is better known as routing or routing, in which what all operations and in which sequence should be carried out is decided in advance so that there is no mistake when the shops at the shop floor are working. Second point, to issue coordinated work schedule of production to the supervisor or foreman of various shops. Now once we lay down or chalk out a plan of production, we can easily give a work schedule or work timetable of production to the concerned departmental supervisor or concerned shop floor shop or foreman at the right time. Third point, to plan out the plant capacity to provide sufficient facilities for further production program. That means while laying down the plan of production, we will come to know what capacity of plant and what size of plant would be needed to accomplish production plans that are formulated and chalked out today. Once we have plans in the hand, or once we have plans already prepared, we will be able to decide in advance the size or the capacity of the plant that would be needed in future to implement the production program. Next, to maintain sufficient raw materials for continuous production. With the plans at hand, the foreman or the production manager will be able to already chalk out a plan of ordering raw materials and other products so that the production is continuous and is not stopping in between because of scarcity of raw material. Next, to follow up production schedule so that the delivery can be actually done as per the promises. We usually promise the customer who has given us an order of a consignment that we will give or deliver the consignment at a particular point of time. That is always possible when we have properly chalked out and planned production schedules. If we don't have properly planned production schedules, our delivery will be delayed for sure. Next point, to evaluate the performance of various workshops and individuals. This particular aspect is taken care of the control element of production planning and control, as normal control is implemented to check and evaluate the performance. Similarly, the production control evaluates the performance of various workshops and individuals at the plant or in the factory. And last, to give authority to right person to do the right job. When we have the right plan in our hand, we will be able to allocate and deploy the right people for the right kind of responsibilities to be held and completed. We will now look at the points of importance of production planning and control. So this is a list of 12 points which are actually very important and explain the importance of production planning and control. With proper mechanism of production planning and control, we can easily utilize our resources effectively and efficiently without any wastages. We can also make sure that our flow of production is steady and continuous without any breakages. We can estimate production resources that would be required in future. We can also take care of necessary stock levels or inventory levels and therefore make sure that not too much inventory is kept, neither there is a scarcity of inventory in the plant. Production planning and control also coordinates departmental activities, especially the departmental activities of the production department. It minimizes wastages of resources, leading to overall efficiency of the plant. It also improves labor efficiency because a plan gives a way or a chalked out, properly decided, predetermined way or approach to do the work. As a result, the laborers or workers do not waste time in using thumb rule or hit and trial methods. It also helps to face competition. Proper plans always lead to benefits which help in combating competition in the market. It also provides better work environment. With proper planning, there is a coordination of work and good relationships in the workplace. Production planning and control facilitates quality improvement, as the control mechanism tells us the loopholes in the quality of the commodities produced by the production department. We can take corrective actions to improve the quality of future products and commodities that will be produced. It leads to customer satisfaction because with better plans, better output is produced, and with better output, higher level of customer satisfaction is ensured. And last but not the least, it reduces production cost and leads to efficiencies because it leads to reduced wastages in the plant. Some of the very important points of importance of production planning and control have been explained in this slide onwards. So as I already mentioned, good production system or good production and planning system and control system serves as the nervous system of a plant or a factory because of the following points. The first one, a good production planning control system will lead to better service to customers, because through proper scheduling and expediting of work, it is always the result that better services to customers in terms of better quality of goods at reasonable prices as per promised delivery dates will be made sure. Delivery in time and proper quality both help in winning the confidence of customers, improving relations with them, and promoting profitable repeat orders. Point number 2, fewer rush orders. When everything is planned properly and scheduled properly as per timetables and plans, there are very few rush orders and therefore emergencies will be reduced. Also, there will be less overtime than without adequate production planning and control systems. Next point, better inventory control. A good system of production planning and control obviously helps in maintaining inventory at proper levels and therefore minimizes investment in inventory, and wasteful inventory is also reduced. It requires lower inventory of work in progress and less finished stock to give efficient service to customers. Next point, a good production planning and control mechanism helps in effective use of equipment, machinery, and tools. It provides information to the management on regular basis pertaining to position and condition of all the orders in process, the equipment, and the people requirements for next few weeks or few months. Reduced idle time. Since production planning and control gives a proper schedule of production, so the loss of time by workers sitting idle and doing nothing reduces. Consequently, less man hours are lost, which has a positive impact on the cost of production. Next point, improved plant morale. An effective system of production planning and control leads to coordination of activities in the department and ensures even flow of work, avoiding rush orders. It maintains healthy working conditions in the plant, thereby improving the plant morale as a byproduct or end result. Next point, good public image. A good system of production planning and control keeps the things systematic in an organization. As a result, it becomes easier for the production planning and control system to meet the orders in time for satisfaction of customers. Customer satisfaction further leads to increased sales, increased profits, industrial harmony, and ultimately a very positive public image of the enterprise. Next point, lower capital requirements. Under a sound system of production planning and control, everything relating to production is planned well in advance. Where, when, and what is required in form of input is known beforehand, that too before the actual production starts. Inputs are made available as per schedule, which ensures even flow of production without any bottlenecks. Also, facilities are used more effectively and inventory levels are kept as per the schedule, neither more nor less. Therefore, a sound production and planning system helps in minimizing capital investment and wastages in equipment and inventories. The next topic of the session is production planning control, the process. For convenience and better understanding, we have divided the whole process into two aspects. One is production planning and the second is production control. My learners or my students are supposed to take care of both the aspects individually and independently. First, we will talk about the stages involved in production planning. So we have planning, routing, scheduling, and loading. And production control, we have 4 stages again: dispatching, following up, inspection, and corrective measures. So we'll start with the first sub-stage of production planning process. The production planning has the first step of planning. Before starting with the actual production, we have to lay down or chalk out a course of action that will be implemented by the production managers or foremen at the workshop or plant. This plan will tell how much to produce, what quality, what quantity, what specifications of the commodities will be produced. According to this plan, the routing is done. Routing is actually deciding the processes and sub-processes through which a workshop will be passing its functions through. Say for example, I have to prepare cotton shirts. So the process may be cutting, sewing, dyeing and coloring, packaging and dispatching. So routing takes care of the process flow to be decided in advance. Next step is scheduling. Scheduling is giving time tables to each workshop so that the work can be completed in time as per the requirements. And loading refers to loading of material on machines and actually starting the production in an action-oriented process. Moving on to production control, we have dispatching, following up, inspection and corrective measures. So if I talk about dispatching, once after the loading and production is done, we have to pack the products and they are now dispatched from the factory to the warehouses and from the warehouses to the markets. The next step in control process is following up. So every production manager, or rather any manager, has to follow up that the orders that were actually got in the initial times are met properly, or the production has happened as per the standard schedules or not. Then is inspection, where the actual performance or actual production is met or compared with the standards laid down. In case of loopholes and deviations, the last but not the least, corrective actions are taken so that the loopholes can be removed. So as I defined, routing actually determines the path from which raw materials will flow within the factory. Once the sequence is followed, raw materials are transformed into finished goods. Scheduling talks about when the operation will be completed. That means determining or determination of the time schedule so that all the processes take place in the decided time and all the output is produced at the right time. Dispatching, I already told you, is releasing of orders in accordance with the scheduled charts or timetables. Follow-up, also known as expediting, is the final step that finds faults or defects, bottlenecks and loopholes in the entire production process so that these loopholes can be actually identified, the reasons behind these loopholes can be identified, and corrective actions can be processed and decided so that these loopholes do not reoccur. With this, I finish off my lecture on production planning and control. Thank you.